Hello everybody and welcome back to When the Night Comes, Chapter 6. Who? Hello? Oh, that's right. This is too loud for me. Okay. Ooh, so excited. Okay. Hunter Spoolie. I think I may require your assistance. August sighs heavily beside me, relaxing their tense posture and stepping forward. Miss Woodridge, did you really just storm your way through the tavern looking like that? Aurora's stance is visibly off-kilter, legs shaking as she slides her hand down the doorframe. She's covered in blood, but the only injuries I can see are a few scratches on her forearm. It's too much to just be her own from a quick once-over. She blinks at them once, twice, then completely and utterly blanks them, turning to me. Like I said, I require some assistance. They offer me a grimace, and I see her beginning to falter in the corner of my eye. I rush to her side in time to catch her before she slumps to the ground. Who or what did this to you? To help her settle upon the bed, August and I help her to... Do I sound funny to you? I help her settle upon bed, August and I standing side by side as we wait for her response. I encountered a little trouble on my evening walk. August scoffs at that, staring at her nails and their nails and ignoring her pointed glare. I was like, why are they staring at Aurora's nails? That's so weird. It's just me misreading it. When you say trouble, a creature, the one that's been giving you hunters some actual work to do. Strange, because the first time I encountered it, it was far less hostile. I beg your pardon? In a split second, the atmosphere changes, literally. August's fingers spark vivid violet, their eyes alight as they loom over the wounded woman with a fierce gaze. Huh. I'm gonna watch because August has every right to be pissed off. This creature has been killing people and she's just been like, oh yeah, I knew of it. I just let it be. To say I'm enamored with the way August lights up like this would be an understatement. There's something about the way the air feels when they use their magic, a crackle, electric. You mean to tell me that you've been liaising? Yep, okay. With the thing that's been killing my hunters. I read that like a fucking asshole. Okay. Oh no, go back. And you do it with a smile and a shrug? I take a step closer to her, placing my hand upon August's arm. Their magic carefully dissipates, fizzling out until it's nothing more but sparks at their fingertips. As they offer me a soft smile, Aurora scoffs loudly. Ah! You've got to be kidding me. So that's why you're all alone up here, That must be tricky for you in that precious moral code of yours, Willenheim. What is she talking about? Oh, is it because I touched August? She's like, oh, they're definitely touching booties. That's dumb. I should arrest you for being in contempt of the agency. You're lucky you came to us when you did. Aurora pouts and averts her gaze, as if doing so will minimize our presence. Oh, she's such a bitch. I want to pull all of her hair out. Lucky. I don't consider stooping myself to such a low level in coming to you as lucky. Throw her in the dungeon! But I have no other choice. No, you don't. We shouldn't stay here. It's too dangerous having her here in such a public place. Where do you suggest? With a heavy groan, August rolls their eyes. Suppose my house would be wisest. I am an enforcer after all. If we are going to be seen, then at least it will look like it's official business. We just walk her through the tavern covered in blood. How comfortable are you with being theatrical? What does that mean? After a successful exercise in distraction back in the Wolf, we rush Aurora across town to August's rather impressive abode without further incident. They stare at her with a crinkled nose as she removes her shoes at the door, apparently disgusted at the thought of having her covered in blood in their impeccably clean living area. Makes sense. Just don't get blood on the sofa, please. Noted. I take in my surroundings, smiling to myself as I admire the home that they've made for themselves. Every nook and cranny was clearly thought through methodically by them, their charm extended out, not unlike their magic. It's a very cute place. This is beautiful, August. Thank you. It's nice having my own little sanctuary, though I don't spend as much time here as I would like. I gravitate towards them, as I so often seem to these days, our fingers brushing as I take a seat beside them. Aurora clears her throat, her brows climbing high as she stares at us from across the room. Shut up, bitch. Get out of my face. Are you quite finished? I'd like to go home if we can get this over with. I'm so annoyed with her. I really don't like her. I quickly withdraw my touch, placing my hands in my lap, but the urge to reach out and touch them lingers. Oh, look at that cute face August is making. I didn't even notice. Explain exactly what you've been up to, Miss Woodridge, in detail. She crosses her legs, smoothing the rumpled, dirty fabric of her skirt. August watches, clearly appreciative of her attempt to collect herself, but perceptive that none of her filth make contact with their home. No more than it must, at least. It sounds kind of mean, but I 100% get it. I don't like... I like things a particular way as well. Firstly, in the interest of protecting myself, I want you to assure me that what I say here won't be used against me. From what I gather, you're working against the enforcers, so I suppose you'd do well to agree to this condition. She's such a bitch. I hate her. August looks at me for confirmation, and I shrug, knowing that she's right. We can't afford for her to go to them at this point, to go to anyone but us. It stays between us. Good. Now I understand that you're aware that the level of creature activity has increased here in Lunaris as of late, Enforcer Willenheim. August nods. Yes, but Harry has done an excellent job in putting systems in place to ensure that we're on top of it. So the number of fatalities has significantly dropped in the last year, if that's what you're getting at. Aurora hums contemplating their statement with a tilt of her head. Lunaris has the lowest mortality rate of any town in the whole of Escria until very recently. Did you know that? They shift uncomfortably in their seat, avoiding eye contact with the both of us. She's playing a game. Why? Why? Why am I yawning? Never mind. I don't understand. It's like I play games and then my body decides, oh, it's yawn time, go to sleep. And it's not that I'm not having fun, because I am having fun. So I don't understand. She's playing a game, almost mocking August's obvious intelligence, I presume. Of course I was aware of that, yes. Don't you think that it's awfully strange that all of a sudden one of the most peaceful areas would turn into the epicenter of creature activity? She sounds like, in my head, she sounds like a more bitchy version of Hermione. I don't know a lot about Hermione. I know Hermione from the first 2 movies, that's it. And the first book, I read the first book. I didn't watch all the movies. I want to, but I have not seen the Harry Potter movies, so... She seems like a really bitchy version of Hermione. Should I read this? Yes. That one day, they began descending upon us in droves, stronger and faster than before. Did no one in your agency investigate a potential cause? I look at them again, assessing their reaction. My interest peaked. Gotta remember to drink water so I can record 2 of these episodes today. Woohoo! Chapter 9 comes out on the 10th. It was supposed to be the 30th. It's the 10th. Also, on the 30th, maybe that's why I was confused. Huh. On the 30th, a Kickstarter opens for another game by Lunaris Games, and I'm very excited about this new game. It looks fantastic. Make sure you check it out. Lunaris was never on my radar before I was called here. I only knew of its existence because of Harry and James's notoriety, so I certainly didn't know this. Escria is made up of cities and towns far larger than Lunaris, so for Aurora to claim that this sleepy little place is the hotspot for creature activity is beyond alarming. August? A deep breath, and August finally responds. I am aware that there was an investigation, but that nothing was found. We chalked it up to the simple fact that we aren't doing a good enough job of eliminating the creatures as a country. That they're multiplying at a rate far quicker than we and everyone else can effectively handle. Another quiet hum, and I gather that she's simply testing them. Aurora knows a lot more than she's letting on, clearly, and it brings back a touch of her knowing resolve. Does it? So why in the last year has the has that magically gotten better? Until these recent murders began, Lunaris was relatively peaceful again, wouldn't you say? Not as peaceful as before, but an impressive improvement was seen, yes. I'm no wiser than you, really, Enforcer, but I do know that the thing committing these murders is no ordinary creature. Sorry, that one got away from me. And I know that the method in which your precious leader has used to fix the problem is an unsavory one. But something isn't right here in Lunaris. Something is drawing them here, and whatever that something is making them stronger. Huh. What happened last night? How do you know all this? I look at Aurora, taking note of her confidence, of her poise. It's impressive, but I can't help but wonder how the hell she knows all of this information she's just unloaded on us. You know an awful lot about the Enforcers, even more than us, apparently. How? I feel like I can't breathe. Damn it. She shrugs, nonchalant, not quite getting the gravity of the situation, I feel. People talk. To the twins that alienate everyone by telling them they deserve to get gobbled up by monsters for daring to be afraid. Sounds unlikely. Believe it or not, there are people in this sad little town that are more afraid of the Enforcers and your hunter pets than they are of the monsters. They see you talking to the things that lurk in the catacombs, the vampires, the lichen, the demon. They may smile and seem friendly, but they are just as much of an untamed creature as the ones that lurk in the woods that you don't allow to drink in the tavern or sleep in your beds. What the heck? Tell us what happened last night. How did you find the creature? Aurora daintily clasps her hand in her lap, taking her time to respond. I often check the graveyard and the forest surrounding the Ibex before I sleep. I like to know that there's no creature out there that may need my help. You have Lux for that. Does she not do her job sufficiently enough? Lux is an incredible guard, but she doesn't care for creatures in the way that I do. She simply serves to protect us, not them. Why do you require a night guard, exactly? Before Aurora can speak, August pipes up. because we were fed up of them calling in problems and using up our limited resource. The only real issues they ever had were some angry townsfolk with a kitchen knife. If you hadn't already noticed, the Ibeck aren't exactly popular around here, so we assigned Lux as an unofficial guard to keep watch. Anyway, as I was saying, I did my usual nightly checks, and I heard something in distress in the forest. I found a creature. The creature. A ghastly-looking thing, but it was crying. Crying. August lets out a teeny burst of laughter, quickly covering their mouth once the sound has escaped. I cannot explain, but that's what it sounded like. Hunched over against a tree trunk, clutching the bark, just wailing. I approached it. It simply ignored me and retreated into the forest. But she holds out her arm, the gash is deep and angry. As you can see, it wasn't so interested in me this time. It attacked me. Oh, uninterested in me this time. It attacked me, pinned me to the ground. I only escaped because it heard something and scurried off. Shit. I look at August, and they're pinching the bridge of their nose, eyes closed. I rest my hand upon their arm, prying their touch from their face and imploring them to make eye contact. They smile, but it doesn't seem to meet their eyes. I watch as August rises and walks to stand in front of the fire. I want to go to them, to comfort them, but resist the urge, giving them space. Aurora hasn't taken her eyes off me, her expression inscrutable. You need to see a healer. She shrugs, uncaring, sparing her bleeding arm a fleeting glance. Like I said, it's just a scratch. She's right. You don't know what that thing is, and you're unsettling enough without suddenly sprouting horns. You should seek out Ezra. At least we know he'll be discreet. She stands and quickly heads for the door, and as if the moment to leave this place couldn't have come sooner. Before she reaches for the handle, wait. Yes? Don't forget this kindness we've shown you here tonight. We could have you thrown in the dungeons for what you've been withholding, but I'd rather not see someone else disappear. Though our beliefs may differ, we are here to protect you. I stand to join them, a show of solidarity in that promise, if you will. Aurora may not believe their words, but their purpose has and always been to protect everyone. Stay out of the woods, Aurora. Creatures like this are not something you play house with. Make no mistake, this is something even you cannot feel sympathy for. It's killed mindlessly, unprompted. She smiles, and for the first time it seems genuine, if not a little rehearsed. Oh, reserved. I'll come straight to you if I see it again, and thank you. Finally, in the comfort of privacy, I offer August a sympathetic look as they turn to face me, reaching out to brush a fallen lock of hair behind their ear. They look as tired as I feel. That was a lot. Is it bad that I remain unfazed by such conversations? Not knowing a bloody thing has become the norm, apparently. They take a seat, sinking deeply in the cushions with a grateful groan. This town is infested with secrets. I can't wait until all of this is over. If it ever will be. How am I supposed to do my job and protect the people when I'm left so in the dark? You care enough to keep trying, and that's all that matters. The people of Lunaris are lucky to have you, August. They look up at me, a gentle smile on their face. It touches their eyes this time, something affectionate reserved just for me. It'll be morning soon. A heavy sigh, and August huffs a laugh, curling their legs up beneath them. Yet another night of no rest. What's new in this town, I suppose I'd better try and... Jeez. The day before yesterday, I was reading aloud to my husband as he drove us home from Wyoming. And so yesterday, I carefully spent the day relaxing my voice so I could do this today, but I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's not like my throat feels sore or anything. I suppose I'd better try and get an hour or two of sleep. A pointed look, and I suspect a suggestion lingers on the tip of their tongue, one they might be hesitant to utter. No! Let's do a cuddle. So I take it upon myself to make the suggestion myself. Or rather, I take a seat beside them, kicking off my boots and placing them neatly at the foot of the sofa. August's eyes grow wide when I offer them my arm, but they don't hesitate to sink into my embrace. Aww. Just an hour or two? They smile as they nuzzle against my side, eyelashes already fluttering closed. Just an hour or two. The weight of having them pressed against me lulls us both into a calming sense of peace, finally. In no time at all, August and I fall into a deep, comfortable sleep. Cuddles! Aww. I wake barely refreshed, but with an inkling. A gut feeling, funnily enough. The Ibex is more desolate than I remember, if such a thing is possible. The doors open easily enough, even though there isn't anyone there to greet me, and the chapel within has only pockets of sunlight where it streams through the cracked, decrepit windows. The rest is drowned in shadows. Shadows that I know are safe. My instincts warn of nothing else save for the two bright presences perched atop the dais at the far end of the room. And as they're here, I feel I don't need to worry about my own safety. Strange that. Two demonic entities of the highest class they are sit to class... Wait. Why did I say sit? Two demonic entities of the highest class there exists to classify them. I, a hunter, alone in this abandoned temple, like the plot of some corny horror novel, and yet I'm not afraid. Elaine and Omen's conversation peters out as I close the door behind me and approach them. The way they tilt their heads in perfect synchronicity reminds me eerily of the Woodridge twins, but their expressions are quick to change to big similar grins. Laney, I didn't expect to see you here. He slides off the dais and comes down to meet me. I incline my head at him in greeting, but my eyes are on the young woman who looks remarkably like him, remarkably like his choice of glamour, who remains unseated. She stares back at me and smiles, bright and soft, and raises her hand in a small wave. It's good to see you as well, Elaine. Elaine beams at that, clapping her hands together. Oh, it's good to see you too. I'm sorry the last time we met, things were so messy. With a small oof, Elaine pushes herself off the dais and approaches me as well. And my second, I suppose, impression of her is that she's far cheerier and much less cautious than Omen. There's a spring in her step, even as she strides, eating up the distance between us with wide, confident steps. The sketches... Wait, she sketches? Okay. She sketches a curtsy for me, and when I try to return it with a bow, giggles. Thank you. I was hoping I would see you again. We both did. I heard something happen with Aurora. Yes! Armorist looks so worried. She picks anxiously at the cuff of her sleeve as she mentions him. My eyes are drawn to the movement. Omen's eyes are drawn to the movement. And is that my imagination, or is that a tiny crease between his eyes? I'm very confused. That was just a weird sentence. Does he not like Armoris? Before things get awkward, however, I clear my throat. Then an idea strikes me. I have a question, actually, for the both of you. Identical brown eyes blink at me. They really are twins, aren't they? Even if not human ones. When we were speaking with Aurora yesterday night, she mentioned something. It seems in the past few years supernatural activity has been at an all-time high. August figured it was only because they were worsening faster than the enforcers and our hunters could control them, but we have our doubts. And I know instantly I was correct to doubt, as the very air seems to change. Owen sucks in a deep breath, his hand going to clutch at the back of his neck, eyes averted. Elaine purses her lips and clasps her hands in front of her, but she keeps her gaze on me. For a moment, she's no longer a soft-eyed young woman with large teeth and a pretty smile. For a fraction of that moment, I perceive her as the thing behind these human details. Something old and seething and immense gazes at me through those eyes. The pressure near crushes my lungs with the force of her presence. Then dissipates. So fast I could be convinced I was imagining it. And it's because Omen's hand is on her shoulder. No, it's fine. Lainey isn't trying to. He trails off. Elaine pats his hand, but it slides off and turns... Wait, what? But it slides off and turns to face me fully. His hand? His hand slides off and faces me? Is that what I'm understanding? Is Elaine turning to face me? Is that what that's supposed to be? The comma is confusing. I'm confused. The smile is back, if it's just a little sharper than before, and she raises a hand. Oh, now I've got two hands facing me. Sorry. I almost flinch, but all she does is point at my weapon. Can you please remove your hand from that? That's a lot to ask of me after that. Elaine inclines her head. You have a point, I suppose, but all the same, it will do you no good here. She's right, galling that she would point it out so matter-of-factly, but even as I reluctantly tear my fingers from my weapon, the answer I was seeking strikes me. It was you, wasn't it? You're the reason for the increase in paranormal activity around Lunaris. It isn't her fault, but mine. Omen is still rubbing at the back of his neck, as though worrying an old scar. When he meets my gaze, his aura is dimmed. Sad. Oh, don't be sad. Omen. Sorry, that came out very oh, he just fell down the stairs. Omen, are you okay? You okay? Omen? Some mortal years ago, I had an argument with my father. He pauses, mouth moving without sound. Elaine shifts on her feet where I watch her from the corner of my eye. Okay. But she doesn't move. Her presence is once again extinguished, tightly under controller. I think I just said controller. It ended in my departure from your realm. He was unhappy with me to your realm. Okay. He was unhappy with me leaving and tried to prevent my attempt to cross over. I had to go into hiding, more or less. In the journey betwixt, it's possible I might have damaged the boundaries between our worlds, here in this town. Oh. And your father, he isn't planning to make the trip across to get you back, is he? The thought leaves me cold as much as it makes me want to stare at the ceiling and wonder out loud what exactly this town has done that caused so many fucking problems to become attracted to it like flies to a bloated corpse. That's fucking gross, but awesome. That would be... what? That would be the thing we need, wouldn't it? Lucifer himself coming through to give us another slap on the ass. No, he cannot wander so far. As for us, and Omen took, far as us, and Omen took, measures to stop us from finding him. Oh, Omen took measures to stop you, Elaine, and Lucifer from finding Omen. Okay. I was a bit confused. She gives Omen a look, but he purposefully ignores her. Mine are on the hand he is still using to rub the back of his neck. Your what? Why is the writing so weird this time? If she said her eyes flicked to him to give him a look, then it would make sense. Because then it'd be mine, okay? Mine eyes. That was dumb. Mine eyes, sorry, is what I meant was dumb. But the writing is confusing me a lot. Mine are on the hand he is still using to rub the back of his neck. I had assumed it was a nervous habit, but now that I'm paying close attention, I can see something that looks like it might be a scar snaking out from under his collar. Sorry, going back to that other thing really quickly. As it stands, the way it's written, the mine possessive makes it sound like mine look are on the on the hand he is still using to rub the back of his neck, which doesn't make sense. Yeah. Whereas the other thing I was trying to say, but I don't know how to speak, was that my eyes are on the hand he's still using to rub the back of his neck. So if Elaine had said eyes, or if Elaine had used her eyes in the previous sentence, does this make any sense, or am I just dumb? I wish somebody else was here to tell me to stop rambling. That'd be nice, huh? It's difficult to spot, though, and is as if thinking the same thing, Omen yanks the collar up to further hide it. Elaine presses close to his side, their shoulders touching, their tails intertwined briefly, almost a hand-squeeze gesture of its own, before she leans away again and looks at me. I burped. Plop. Oh, jeez. We apologize for the danger we've brought to this place. It isn't me you should be apologizing to, I think. Omen gives me a pained look, but inclines his head. Yes, you're right. I did not know the boundaries would have been so badly affected by my crossing. By all means, destroying the brand, the markings that allow my father to seek me out should have been enough. I had also hoped that the boundaries would heal on their own, as they do. Likely they are, but too slowly, perhaps. He trails off, looking at something behind my shoulder, and I turn to follow his eyes. Morris Woodridge stares at us from where he's half peeking from the front door. His eyes widen like a cornered rabbit when he realizes we've noticed. But before I can open my mouth to reassure him, Elaine makes a gleeful little noise and runs to Morris. Omen snorts, the sound almost a laugh. I was almost afraid you didn't like him. He kept the news of Elaine's arrival from me. That should be enough for me to resent him. He says that, but his eyes are soft as we look on. Elaine is holding Morris's hand now. Hands, both of them, okay. Who looks remarkably less afraid, and whatever they are talking about is too low for me to hear, but I see him smile brightly. I see her smile too, and her tail curls affectionately around his waist. They make their way back over to us, Morris eyeing me warily. So many people. I nod at Morris when he glances at me again. The way he seems to jump a little before smiling back is almost amusing. Have you come to fetch me, or have you come to fetch Elaine? Neither, actually. I've come to tell you that Aurora will soon be here, so I wanted to. He trails off uncertain, probably not that sure about betraying his sister's view on things yet, and I'm not sure how much of that I can sympathize with. But after the mess yesterday night, I'm nothing if not glad I wouldn't have to see that woman again, just yet. I have a feeling she would have something galling to say about this whole business, and that I should also make a report on. Okay. I scratch my head, thinking about what exactly will go on the mission report for this entire mess. Just doing so is already causing me a soul-deep pain. But later, when I've actually gotten a chance to unpack everything. I need to go find Alcar at any rate. Oh, that would be a good idea. Make sure he stays out of trouble and all. Not that I say as much. I have a feeling that this exact thought is going through Omen's mind, at any rate. The way he tugs pensively at his sleeve. Huh. This chapter is weird. How much of this is practiced, I wonder? Human habits, human emotions, human tells. Enough that it seems subconscious by now. Or perhaps not. Perhaps they're all real, given how alike Elaine was to him. But the smile Omen gives me is sincere. Not in the expression on his face, but in the gratitude and friendship I can sense from him. I hope I'll see you later, Lainey. I'm sure you will. He hums in agreement, reaching for me as though he wants to put his hand on my shoulder, but seems to think better of it at the last moment and turns it into an awkward wave before walking away. I linger for a moment longer, watching Morris and Elaine's conversation. Morris is smiling at something she says, and the last thing I see as I turn away from them is Elaine kissing his cheek. The streets are dead empty when I leave. It's eerie, almost, this sudden stillness, as though the town itself is instinctively aware of the wrongness it's experiencing, withdrawing into itself. I wonder truly how much the people know, how much they're willing to know. From what Aurora said, it's not always been this way for Lunaris, but I find it hard to imagine this before. It must have been years ago, according to what she said at August's. But all Omen and Elaine have done is confirm that there was an increase in supernatural activity, not what the enforcers here have done to combat it. Nor did their affirmation lend anything to ease the growing dread in me, the one that's been sitting like poison in the back of my mind since I first started snooping in August's office for Aya's records just a few weeks ago. I'm a hunter general, but I'm a hunter in the end. The enforcers, the allies, and support network at my back, they all account for much of my success and strength. How I'm to move, act, think. And now what, if I can't even trust it to hold my weight? That I don't know the full truth is nothing new. That I'm only ever told enough to commit myself to the contract at hand is nothing new. But those deliberate acts of withholding information have always been passed off as an attempt to protect the hunters, and for the most part, that's been true. Not this time, though. This is... The sound of a bird taking flight snaps me out of my thoughts. I shake my head, blink, and look up at the sparse, twisting branches of the forest. Somehow my feet have taken me here. Taking me on a path I didn't know I could remember so well, actually, and when I look down at the ground, I see the rock to which Alcar hides his cave. He hasn't bothered to keep the trapdoor concealed. I realize as I walk around it, there the entrance is, inviting to all. Thinking about the half-lichen, I doubt that's true, but... Hesitantly, I kneel by it and knock. A long moment passes with no response. Just as I was beginning to feel silly, it's daylight, he's probably in town. It suddenly swings up so fast, it nearly hits me in the face. Alcar tilts his head, ears perked. His expression slowly morphs into a grin, if a tired one. Well, well, you got a warrant? That's not what guests bring to them on a house visit, Alcar. Depends. I shift, intending to sit, since honestly I'm not sure if he's going to let me into his house. The moment I start to, however, Alcar retreats back into the cave with a beckon. He's already gone, and if I don't follow, the trapdoor is going to fall on my knees, so I hastily follow him down. The latch is a little difficult to work out, but after a moment I manage to fasten it the way I think it's supposed to be fastened. By the time I get into the cave properly, which looks the same, with just a bunch of messy blankets and pillows on one of his benches, proof that he really did just wake up, Alcar is already across the room. I watch him throw firewood into a small stove and put a kettle on to boil, then settle down on a cushion that doesn't look like it's been drooled on. What brings you here, Muddy Hunter? Instincts. Alcar throws me a smirk. He opens an iron chest next to the stove and pulls out a jar of something dried, then joins me by the cushion. Prying the lid open, he offers me the treat. Is this dog chow? If you're a dog, everything you eat is dog chow. So, are you a dog? No, mate, it's fucking candied fruit. He's so aggressive. I snort but take out a piece. So I'm not under arrest. Nothing's exploded in town that I know about. You cut your feelings on something? What is up with this guy? Gods, no, It is then that I realize I don't know what the hell I've come to him for, really. Comfort? Going to Alcar for comfort. Not likely. Though now that I'm here, there is something I need to tell him. Alcar, the hunter you attacked? The one whose attack you were branded, I should say. The one for whose attack you were branded. Alcar's wolf ears immediately flatten to his head. I can see his jaw clench, but he looks straight at me, red eyes sharp. Yeah? His name is Azazel. We found signs of him in the dungeons. Alcar inhales sharply, then sighs, the relief palpable. But then he raises his eyebrows. Wait, in the dungeons? The dungeons where they kept me? What did that bastard do? We don't know, but he was there, and I'm sure he was at the very least alive when you were taken in. Then why did they brand me? I don't know. Alcar snorts, and this time the sound is bitter. He gets to his feet and begins pacing, tightening the bandages around his hands. I can feel his upset, the intensity of it, and under all that, brewing resentment. I can't blame him. You keep using past tenses. What happened to this Azazel bloke? I don't know that either, which is the problem. Alcar pauses and looks at me in disbelief. After a moment, however, he sighs and comes back to sit down again. Guess that's why you're here. To tell you, yes. You employers sure like to keep shit hush-hush, huh, Lainey? Figured so, but damn. But thanks for telling me. It's been sitting like a fucking gravestone on my mind since, well... Alcar brushes a thumb over the scar on his chest absently. Well, now I feel pretty fucking bummed out, actually. Can't believe they gave me this bitch of a mark over something that's never even happened. What's worth a scar with such a stupid story behind it? I'm sorry. This shouldn't have happened. They had no right. They don't need rights. They only need a reason and the upper hand. True that. He's right. I don't know. Bitter pessimism in Alcar's words sting, but they sting no worse than the thoughts I myself had in the past. A reason and the upper hand. That is sometimes all we need as well, isn't it? A weapon, a reason, and the upper hand. And now my weapon feels heavy at my side. And what are you going to do about all this, Lainey? I'll find the truth. It's all I can do, isn't it? These episodes are always so long. Ooh, gotta stretch it out. That's all I can do, isn't it? No, that's what I must do, now that we've come this far. Then that's all I ask, too. His hand closes around my wrist. I raise my eyes from the floor to look at him, and the sheer intensity with which he stares back at me, the sheer sincerity in his eyes almost carries the force of a blow. Thank you. He's a cool pup. I ventured deeper into the catacombs, the darkened tunnels becoming somewhat familiar to me now. I hear a quiet laugh, and I smile to myself as a figure appears from the shadows. What's cooking, good looking? Hello, Raven. May I escort you to Lord Casimir's lair? I mean, not that you have a choice. I'm bored. I begin walking, and Raven falls into step by my side, though. She walks backwards, those crimson eyes not leaving my face even for a second. Why are you bored? Sun's up. Can't do much other than annoy Finn. Now that you're here to do that, I assume... Oh, I put that in there. Okay. I was like, wait. Sun's up. Can't do much other than annoy Finn. And now that you're here to do that, I assume. No? No, that doesn't make sense to me. And now you're here to do that. Oh! I put another that in there in the wrong place. Oh god, I hate everything. I'm sad now. Whatever. Okay, moving on. Ignore me. Ignore me. I'm a loser. Ah. More like work, I suppose. Thought I heard something. I'm scared. More like work, I suppose. She snorts again, and it's quickly becoming a familiar sound. Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. Sun's up. Can't do much other than annoy Finn, and now that you're here to do that, I assume. Now you're here to do that, I assume. Okay. More like work, I suppose. She snorts again, and it's quickly becoming a familiar sound. He works too much. All of you do. Then she skids to a stop in front of me as we reach Finn's door, her hand raised. Listen, I just want you to know that we have your back. Not that Finn wouldn't have already told you that, but it's important to me that you know. The way she looks at me tells me I can believe her, that Raven is loyal to a fault, and that I'm lucky to have such allies. Thank you, Raven. I appreciate that. Sweet! Now, go do your boring important people stuff, I guess. I'll try not to interrupt. In a flash she's gone, absorbed by the darkness. The door to Finn's room opens with a quiet creak before I can raise my fist to knock, and he greets me with a smile. Afternoon. Please come in. I eagerly step inside, the candlelight that flickers in his lavish quarters decidedly more inviting than the dank hallways. I heard Raven lurking. She didn't bother you, did she? I shake my head as he moves to lean against his desk. She was fine, if not a little strange. He tilts his head this way and that, feigning tossing around a deep thought in his mind before grinning. Strange is her specialty. We should discuss Fierro. Discuss what Piper and I found down there. His expression neutralizes, posture becoming tense. Yes, we should. I have some concerns, as I'm sure you do. What could they want with this blood, Finn? I'm no expert, but if I'm not mistaken, vampire blood can be harmful to anything that isn't of your kind. He stares off into the distance for a moment. The look is pensive, as if he's considering his next words very carefully. What do you know of your initiation? Of what they put you through when you're chosen? I don't know what that means. I open my mouth to respond, but I find myself having nothing to say. I remember little of what happened back when I was just a child, back when I first arrived at the academy. I remember waking up and feeling different, feeling strong. Ew. Are they giving them vampire blood? I frowned, frustrated that I can't recall such a pivotal moment in my life. The moment that quite literally made me who I am. I can feel him watching me carefully, and when I meet his gaze, his eyes are sad. I know little of what they did to make you the way you are, but I've been around long enough to hear rumors. Nothing about what's happening here adds up. Of that much, I'm sure. Truly, the only person who seems like they might have answers would be Harry, but it seems we can't even trust that man who swore to lead and protect your kind. If they're taking Fiero's blood, it's not with good intentions. Vampire blood can be incredibly dangerous if used with malicious intent. I feel pretty stupid. I'm over here trying to make voices. I feel pretty stupid. But listen, there's only one way to get good. And that is to be stupid until you get good. We need to get him out of there. Fiero? Right, okay. For a second I thought he was talking about Harry, and I was like, why would we do that? I'm confused. I rack my brain for ideas, solutions, anything. The silence we stand in is heavy with our contemplation, and something hits me. When I first encountered the creature, it almost felt like I'd been thralled. His eyes widen, his prosthetic flickering brightly. As if it had compelled you to just freeze. It manipulated you. Manipulated. Then something clicks. What rumors? I'm confused. What rumors? Oh, the rumors about how we become who we are. We're gonna be able to ask both of these, so. Fiero's an empath, right? He can feel both emotion and manipulate it. I read that in a voice. I hate everything. Fiero is an empath, right? He can both feel emotion and manipulate it? Yes, and he's incredibly powerful. Levi wouldn't have looked at him twice if he wasn't different. There are other vampires that have such abilities. Even I can influence people's thoughts, but not to the extent that he can. I think about the implications of that kind of power falling into the wrong hands. How they leave me feeling leaden in place. Can these abilities be transferred, say, through consuming his blood? Who's all left? We have to see Ezra and then the chapter ends. Sorry, I'm just getting really tired. I need to go run around the block or something. And obviously my voice is getting tired. Okay. I can't say I've ever heard of such a thing being done, but it's certainly not impossible. That creature, if it's been given his blood, why? What could that possibly achieve? I take a deep breath, trying to gather my thoughts. Already they're heavy in my mind at what this might mean. Something new, something powerful. Ask about the rumors. The rumors you've heard about the initiation. Can you tell me? He grips the edge of his desk, the wood creaking beneath his fingertips. There are many things about the agency and its practices that I've heard over the centuries. None of them are particularly kind, but most sound too far-fetched to be plausible. My personal favorite is that hunters are grown on trees. Were you grown on a tree, Lainey? Yeah. I laugh, rolling my eyes. Point taken. Not all of them are exactly sane rumors, then. No. But with everything that's been going on around here lately, stranger things have happened. I process everything as best as I can on such little sleep, yet again feeling out of my depth, but somehow closer to the truth. Our priority is getting Fiero out of there, but we also have other concerns to attend to. I can have the clan work on an extraction plan. Now we know exactly where he is, leave that to us. At least that's one less thing for you to worry about, right? Though I could use your help enlisting Merriman to assist. Oh, I forgot about Piper. we could do with someone on our side. Consider it done. You'll let me know if you need me too, though. He nods, reaching for the door to open it for me. Of course. Now stay safe, won't you? I will. I just need to see Ezra about our little demon friends. Well, have fun with that. Have fun with that, Lainey, and good luck. So we have to talk to Ezra and Piper, and then the chapter ends. Oh boy, it's like 20 minutes at least. Yay! Ooh. Stretching. Ooh, woo. I stretched too hard, now I have a headache. The shop is busy when I arrive, but Ezra does an excellent job of remaining professional when he spots me. I linger in the corner. For a second I thought that was my cat meowing. The sound of the music starting up again. I linger in the corner while he rings up his final customers, surveying the volumes upon volumes of magical literature he has on display. The sleepy white cat from before is curled up on the countertop, and she lazily raises her head when I approach as the bell signals that the final customer has left. Her eyes glow a vivid aquamarine, and she's certainly unlike any feline I've seen before. Her name is Coco. He scratches her chin, and she purrs her thanks before gracefully jumping down, heading for the back room with a swish of her tail. Maybe I should stop doing voices. Maybe that's why my voice is having a hard time today. I'm feeling anxiety. Please. She's got a bit of an attitude. I think I've spoiled her a little too much. How long have you had her? His mouth twists to the side while he thinks. She followed me home one night when I was a child. Maybe 10, 11 years ago? She's not exactly a normal cat, but I've never really bothered to find out what she might be, or where she's from. She's just Coco. We'll value her privacy. Anyway, what could I do for you? Is it about the tall, blonde, utterly terrifying woman you sent my way at stupid o'clock last night? Funny. I grimaced, taking a deep breath. My mind is once again overflowing with revelations. New information I've barely had time to process. Sorry, by the way. And also, I had a chat with our demon friends. I study his expression carefully, but I see nothing to indicate that he has any idea what I'm about to say. And? How adept are you at closing hell portals? What? I almost can't help but laugh at the way his eyes widen. Then a flicker of realization, his shoulders sinking under the weight of it. Oh. Oh no. I can't believe I didn't even think to check. I've been so caught up with everything else that I just... Shit. He shit himself. Fuck. That's gross. I believe in you, Ezra. He's obviously distressed that such a thing could fly under his radar, and I gather that Ezra has quickly put the puzzle pieces together. Ezra isn't stupid. He knows what this means, what the tear between realms has brought upon this town. So there's multiple things going on. There's the enforcers being fucking assholes and doing weird, shady shit. There's the scary monster that I feel like has something to do with the enforcers. Obviously. Like, it's basically been spelled out for us already. And then there's the hell portal. So, that is many things. Many things. Many plot points. Many plot... paths? Does that make any sense? I don't know. Never mind. I'll stop talking. Stop talking and then I'll yawn. And then I'll stretch. Because I hate progressing story. Ezra isn't stupid. He knows what this means. What the tear between realms has brought upon this town. We can and we will fix this. There must be a spell. A ritual? He clears his throat, snapping himself from his daze. Yes, I mean, there will be. Not that I'm familiar. It will require a great deal of research, and I doubt I'll be able to perform such a thing alone. August? He smiles, nods. August is very powerful, as I'm sure you can already tell. So with their help, hopefully, it's something we can achieve. I don't doubt either of you for a second. I look at him as he processes all this, his fingers visibly twitching at his side, eyes flickering to the endless rows of books that line his walls. Ezra, I know you can do this. Please don't worry. He offers me a smile, but it's a sorry thing, timid almost. Yes, well, I'm glad that you have some faith in me at least. I'm just cross with myself. I was the first person Omen found when he arrived. I should have known. I tended to his wounds, saw the markings. I should have asked, checked. Markings? I think back to the odd way that Omen rubbed his neck, covered it. Demons from other realms often have a sigil or rune that grants them access to their home, so it would make sense for him to have one, I suppose. But healed? What extent did Omen go to? You should ask Omen. It isn't my place. Of course. But I think you can give yourself a pass on this one. It isn't exactly common for a prince of hells stumble into your okay, common to have. I skipped some stuff. Okay, that's why I was a bit confused. Common to have a prince of hells stumble into your shop, is it? It takes him a moment, but a small smile crosses his lips. I appreciate the faith you've shown me, Lainey. It truly does help. I'll try my very best. Anything to keep the town safe. Now, do you want to tell August, or shall I? The very loud burst of laughter tells me I might be the one tasked with such a pleasant conversation. Excellent. Why are we going to Piper? I just don't understand there was really no segue between Ezra and going to Piper's. I guess Finn asked us to talk to Piper. Shrug. Piper opens the door with a smile as I advance to the next stop on my tour. Afternoon. You just gonna stand there or what? I roll my eyes, knocking off my boots as I enter. We take a seat upon the sofa, Piper tucking her feet beneath her, relaxed in her surroundings. I had an eventful evening. She sits a little straighter, eyebrows quirked in interest. Oh yeah? Yes, with your favorite cultist, actually. The noise that she makes is interesting. Ugh, her. How awful for you, my sympathies. Rather you than me, though, I suppose. What gives? Well, you know, the huge. Just her making friends with the thing terrorizing us. Normal cultist stuff. She growls low and deep behind clenched teeth. I wish I could say I'm surprised. Was it at least a productive conversation? Yes, it helped, which, better than nothing, right? Better than nothing. I take a deep breath, considering my next words carefully. We should talk about Aya. About what we found down there. Her shoulders slump and she averts her gaze, her eyes sad. Yes, I haven't stopped thinking about it at all. Fiyero, Aya, everything. How can we work for people who do that? Who forge records? Who imprison their own for nothing? Aya is innocent, that much I know. And Azazel? He's down there because he got attacked? It continues to make no fucking sense. I agree with her, but we have little time for frustration. We have to begin acting now. The clan are preparing to get Fiyero out of the dungeons. We can't leave him in there, not when we know what they're doing. Finn was wondering if you'd mind assisting them. Of course I will. Anything to stick it to those arsehole enforcers. leave it. Why would I mention Fiero's blood? Just leave it. As much as I want to tell her what Finn and I discussed, I can't help but feel like Piper has enough on her mind. Aya, and on top of that, the fact that she was demoted because she was right. How are you doing after all this? She helps a quiet little laugh, shrugging. I don't really know. Before all this, I was just angry. Angry, and I got punished for caring too much, which isn't something I ever really did before. Now I just feel numb. It's gonna be okay, Piper. It has to be. Right you are. How could it possibly get any fucking worse? I grimace and Piper laughs. Don't say that. Now we're really fucked. With a groan, I reluctantly tear myself from the comfort of her sofa. The mere thought of dragging myself across the street to the wolf makes me want to weep, but I should check in with August, I suppose. I need to go and visit our dear enforcer. Piper waggles her eyebrows suggestively, and I realize I've made a terrible mistake. Piper. I truly can't believe you. I mean, I can. August is gorgeous. Fuck yeah. But the fact that you got them to remove that stick they had firmly lodged up their arse? A miracle. I laugh and Piper paints a vivid picture. They're not that bad. She snorts. You have to say that. You're the one getting all cozy with them. I head for the door, leaving her sniggering on the sofa. I don't think they're that bad. I don't think they're that bad. They're kind of grouchy. They're really cute. That's what I think. Did I tell you about how I like asshole characters? I think they're so funny. Doop. Goodbye, Piper. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Piper would do a lot of stuff. That doesn't... Okay. In the aftermath of what we learned, August and Ezra were quick to action, gathering supplies and the instruments required to perform a spell, or ritual. That was the first day. Then time stretched on. 1 day, 2 days, 4, a week. Knowing that everything was leading up to this moment, and that it might not even work, was stressful to say the least. What if they couldn't close it? What if the creature is still that strong without this unseen force feeding it? Those worries lingered, but I found ways to distract myself. I hunted nightly, spent time training with Piper, studying with August. There was also private time spent with August. Stolen minutes with them amongst all the chaos, fleeting moments that only solidified my feelings for them. Then a knock at my door one night. The news I'd been waiting for. I step outside just in time to watch the sun set over the horizon. The sky darkens and the clouds are tipped with orange, then purple, until all that hangs over me is endless black. Somehow I feel lighter than ever as I head for the forest, a funny kind of hope settling in my gut. Ezra and August are strong alone, but together, I think back to that moment in Ezra's shop, the reconciliation between the two, the shift in how they hold themselves, a weight finally released. Together, I have no doubt they're unstoppable. There's only one way to find out. Omen and Elaine had entered our realm right at the edge of town, just as the cobblestones fade into dirt. The trees are denser here. Everything is less ominous. Whoa! Shit, I guess what are you dressed up for? You look cool. I find Ezra and August exactly where they said they would be, both of them looking a little pensive. Ezra just looks like normal, but August is like, fuck you, I'm amazing. Lainey, right on time. I know you don't suffer tardiness. Very good. Now shall we just get on with it, I suppose? Ezra has already laid out his supplies, a neat little pile of strange things you could only ever find in a witch's shop. There's also a symbol drawn on the forest floor that looks startlingly similar to a pentagram, with a few minor changes. Ezra catches me looking and offers me a shrug as if saying, "Of course us closing a portal to one of the many hells would require such a thing. Just another day in Lunaris. Let's just get this over with." He pulls a vial from his belt, the liquid dark and viscous. From my experience, I recognize it as demon blood. Omen gave it willingly. I didn't stab him or anything. I think we know that, Ezra. Just checking. He pours the blood upon the ground at their feet, the faintest shimmer shining in the grass when it makes contact. They join hands and begin chanting. Minaz mina ayam auni. Yep. Mina ayam saz. The shimmer grows in luminosity. It pulses brighter still, until it's almost blinding. That's really cool. Oh, whoa! Whoa! Their faces! That surprised me. I was just following up August's arm, looking at the, like, swirls, and I was like, that's pretty cool. And then all of a sudden, what the fuck is happening with August's face? And then Ezra over here. Fucking looks like... Crazy. They look crazy. They both do. I'm very surprised, thrown off kilter. I step back, watching as their grip on one another tightens, their eyes aglow, legs shaking. Are you just gonna describe what's happening to August's face, or are you just gonna leave it at that he just has this, they just have this third eye, like, and Ezra has this green smudges, and, like, his eyes are completely green, and that he's got this, like, he's turned into a flower. I don't. Okay. Ezra almost falters, but August holds him steady, gives him strength. Ke sa se nuk yiz saz. I feel super ridiculous. Yaeza yiz koka. I wonder if these actually mean anything, or if this is just some made-up witch language in this universe. The ground beneath our feet rumbles. It shudders and shakes from their incantation, a vibration I feel deep in my bones. Yaeza yiz koka. I know it's supposed to be more dramatic, but I just can't. It just feels so silly. Then, stillness, silence. Slowly they release one another, exchanging appraising glances at their current state. There's some haggard breathing, but decidedly fine. They turn their attention back to the tear. Or former tear. Is it done? Did it work? Perhaps the question was too soon. It doubles out before I can stop it, and it echoes loudly. Yet if seeing that hazy portal wink out was anything to go by, I damn well better ask. I think it did. The energy still lingers, but I no longer feel anything pulling at me. Not like I did when we first arrived. The only way to know for sure is to get Omen or Elaine to check for us. I can't. Ezra is interrupted by a chorus of yelling, screaming, "I'm so scared." As if all at once, the air is kicked from our lungs. Whatever brief moment of relief we had was extinguished at the sound. It's coming from town. We need to... I'll clean up, go. I've got this. We both look at him, hesitant, but time is of the essence, and we know we have no choice. Stay safe. Head straight home as soon as you're done. You've exhausted yourself enough for one evening. I will. What's happening? Oh, for a second I thought chapter was going to end. Why did they do this to me? Town is in chaos. There's blood on the streets. Of its owner, I'm not entirely sure, but I know exactly what it is the second I see Piper rushing toward us. Daggers drawn, Her aura thrums with adrenaline, and it bleeds into mine at her approach. Report. It's that thing. I saw it with my own eyes. Ugly motherfucker, isn't it? Where is it now? It was heading straight for headquarters. Had this mad look like it couldn't see anything else. The witches scared it off. Distracted it. It scurried into the forest, but I couldn't catch it. Good. No one should face it alone. Lainey is right. We cannot risk losing anyone else. Especially not you two. We could do it. I look around and see the fear etched across everyone's faces. A creature hasn't made it this far into town in years. Not a hostile one, anyway. They must be terrified. We have to do something to show them that we have this under control, no matter the circumstances. We need to go and find it, and kill it. This ends now. Let's get it! Damn right we do. I'll stay here. They're afraid. This is their nightmare. I can at least try to make sure they feel safe. I'm gonna save, because I'm scared that I just killed us. Yeah. Okay. Return. I look off into the distance. The forest calling to me. The tips of my fingers tingle, every nerve ending set alight as my adrenaline spikes. Well, I'm the thing that monsters have nightmares about. Okay, so let's finish this. We head towards the forest, leaving the town in chaos behind us. I stop dead in my tracks as the houses fade out, something telling me to pause, to think. August, are you sure you... I pause, taking a breath. You don't need to put yourself in danger for me. If anything happened to you... They grab my arm, stopping me in my tracks and pulling me close, practically nose to nose. When their brow rises, I realize I'm in trouble. Remember who you're talking to, Hunter. I'm your superior. You don't tell me what I should and shouldn't do. You give him a little mooch. I can't help but notice the way their voice cracks, their carefully constructed facade crumbling as their fingers tighten around my arm. They're scared too, scared of losing me, just as I am of losing them. I curl my fingers around their wrist, prying them away, but instead of letting their hand fall, I take it in my own. I'm sorry, I can't find the words, so I show them instead. When our lips meet, they melt against me, and I catch their quiet noise of relief against my tongue. Ew, like gross. Bodies seemed tight, hands and hair, and I eagerly lose myself in August. Ew, are they making out? I just meant like a little and move on. When we part, their cheeks are so peaked that I can't help but find a joke on the tip of my tongue. But a sorrowful groan echoes from somewhere in the forest. Let's move. We advance, moving as fast as our feet can carry us towards the source of the noise. We skid to a stop in a clearing that's quite clearly been ravaged by the creature. Trees splintered, scratched, the grass charred. Then it lumbers into view, too close to the town for comfort, too alert, and entirely too focused on me. Only me. August spares at a glance, then turns to me with a smile. I've got your back, General. Give it hell. I'll keep it distracted, just don't get drawn in. I nod, and then I watch in awe as August lights up. Literally. If I thought they were beautiful before, well, shit. I'm mindful that my jaw doesn't go slack. Their hair rises as if on a breeze, and suspended around them, their eyes swallowed by the brightest, most vivid violet. I want to watch Howl's Moving Castle. Oh, I'm so upset right now. Sorry. It was like I got punched in the stomach over something really stupid. Last night, I was like, I'm gonna watch a couple of movies, and I'm gonna crochet a whole bunch, and I'm gonna get a bunch of crocheting done. And then I finished the row I was on and realized I was out of the next color. And that's why I didn't watch Howl's Moving Castle last night when I wanted to. However, just now, I remembered that I was out of the string, and my entire body went, ugh, collapse in on yourself. And I was just like, why? It's just some string. Like, I'm going to the store later to get string. I need sandpaper anyways for this clay thing I was working on. Now that it's dry, I need to sandpaper away the imperfections. Yeah, dumb, right? I agree. The air crackles, electricity only felt in the most violent of storms. The thick scent of ozone permeating my senses. It's overwhelming and yet at the same time enchanting. To any other it might appear ominous, imposing, and yet August wears it so naturally. The way their magic lives and breathes, unshackled in this state. They're already a powerful presence in how they carry themselves, but to see them like this, it's utterly captivating. Listen, we've already seen August like this just a few minutes ago, so it's kind of frustrating that now we're getting awestruck. I want to stand there and admire them, but as their palms are cast alight, a mark appeared in the center of their forehead. It's a reminder of where I am and what I am here to do. I propel myself forward, unafraid, kicking up dirt. I throw back my fist, landing the first hit with a satisfying smack. The impact reverberates through my knuckles, and I reach for my weapon as the creature gathers itself. Why didn't you... I burped, sorry. Why didn't you pull out your weapon in the first place? Why would you just run at it and go, hey, punch? Now I have a weapon that I had this whole time, but I didn't use it because... like it would have been too effective? I don't know. August and I fall into an easy routine, as if we've been doing this together forever. They cover me, keeping it distracted with a flurry of spells, and I lay into it with every ounce of unbidden power that surges through my body. We violently clash, nothing but a flurry of frenzied movements and strikes. I swing hard at the beast, erring to stick to my typical strategy of attack, not letting the furious tempo of this battle overtake my senses. However, there is a method to its madness, and its poise and posture remains, something more than brute strength keeping it steady. When finally one of my attacks connects, the creature lets out a horrific scream, something that could bloody my ears, and it near sends me to my knees. I'll dial back to catch myself, vision blurring. August calls out to me, coaxing me back to the fight as they keep it locked in place, an indecipherable display of power as lightning strikes at its feet. It's strong, stronger than we anticipated, but more than that, despite its haggard appearance, it fights like I do. Calculated, precise, calm in a way no creature ever could be, or ever has been. It fights like a hunter. Dude, 100% bet. It's like some kind of weird Resident Evil hunter amalgamation. I bring my hand to my face as August chants an incantation in a foreign tongue, seeing crimson leaking between my fingers, staining my skin. They call to me again, frustration marring their words as they struggle to hold it for much longer. I find myself frozen, my breathing heavy, but everything has been laid out before me, and I curse my stupidity for not seeing it sooner. As if the creature has read my thoughts, as if it knows that I figured it out, it gives something of a smile with that grotesque maw. It lunges, swatting August aside with a startling display of strength, like a mere afterthought, and heads for me, transfixed. I'm so frustrated. I watch as they crumple against the trunk of a tree, already felled by the creature's hand, their magic flickering and fading. Its eyes are constant on my form, long, heavy strides, gaining quick momentum in my direction. I cannot move, I cannot think. It's all a haze now. The only coherent thought I have is, if I'm going to die here, all I can hope is that August makes it out. You are garbage. I'm so mad. I'm so frustrated. And I'm hungry. And it's making me grumpy. And I am... It draws back its gnarled arm and I brace for impact. It's too soon for me to steel myself against the assault, and I feel my body shocked with pain. Hello, beauty. Somehow I hear a whisper, something gentle and harmonious, yet not quite of this world. I turn my head to see August, their lips moving at a frantic pace. The mark upon their forehead fixed me to the spot with its radiant gaze. Is it just a mark? Is it? Fucking... I think what I'm most frustrated about is this has the potential to be very good, but it isn't. I feel bad saying that. It has the potential to be so amazing, but it's not. It's okay. It's decent. It's like 3.5 stars, but it has the potential to be like 5.5 stars, and I'm a bit sad that it just is lost. I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole for saying that. They look otherworldly, blinding, every inch of their body screaming power. They're commanding the very elements. Everything around them casts a glow as bright as the moon that hangs high in the sky above us. Brighter. The display distracts it, just as I am, like a moth to a deadly flame, and the creature turns to face August with a sorrowful groan. A move that it will surely regret. In that moment, there's clarity in me, my body finally recalling every ounce of training I've had throughout my life, the instinct to survive saturating every nerve. I reach for my weapon despite the numbness in my fingers. I feel stronger, movements more certain, and as I see August draw back, away from its advancing blow, I strike with everything I have. I drive my weapon into the back of its neck with a guttural scream. It swats at me blindly like a wild animal, trying to shake me off. It stumbles feverishly in random directions, but considerably more sluggish than before. Again, it attempts to remove the thing that will help it meet its maker, but I relent. I hold on, plunging it deeper until I can hear the sickening crack of bone. The creature's voice is smaller now, shaking and shaking as the life from its final is finally torn asunder. It halts in its movements until the thing falls to its knees and pounds the dusty earth. I wait and I wait until I'm certain it is no longer. Finally, there's resounding silence and I catch my breath. Try to, anyway. I'm not talking about the whole story, by the way, when I'm frustrated. This specific scene is all I'm talking about. Just the specific scene. The story is pretty good. Pretty good. I do like it, obviously. I'm still playing it. But this specific scene, it makes the hunter look extremely weak. Like there's all this boast about how amazing us Hunter Spoolie is, how fantastic our training is, how good we are at fighting monsters. But this scene makes us look pathetic. Okay, I went on this huge-ass rant about Throne of Glass and the similarity to this specific scene, because it's just like there was a lot of build-up, and you've got these amazing forces, and they come together to clash, but it feels like, we get knocked away, August gets knocked away, and then the monster dies. So, why that much build-up if this is how it was going to be? You know what I mean? Like, 6 chapters of build-up, and this monster was simple enough to beat. It was easy. It's what it makes it seem like. That Hunter Spoolie is incompetent, and that this was easy. Yeah. I'm a fucking asshole. I know. I'm sorry. I'm just ranting. Let's move on. I'm pretty sure I've read that. Then I feel August's hand upon me, tugging at me in a thread. Then I feel August's hands upon me, tugging at me to stand. Are you okay? Are you hurt? I steady myself, gripping their arms and staring into those endless pools of violet. Wow. They quirk a brow at me, lips twisting into a dissatisfied pout. I asked you a question, Hunter. I'm fine, General. Then their features soften, and gone is the authoritative tone of my enforcer, replaced with the soothing lilt of my partner. Good, good. They let their magic rest, and the hum I felt from their power settles back into something calmer, returning to their normal state. They gaze at me with a certain gentle fondness. I'm not going to kiss them again. I don't want to make out. It's gross. I wind my arms around their waist, practically lifting them off the ground, relief rolling off me in waves. I'm so grateful to feel them warm against me, to feel their heart thrumming in their chest as they press closer. I breathe them in, the sweet lavender scent of them, of August. I pull back, pressing my forehead to theirs, just basking in their presence. Finally, I can tell them. August, you are amazing. As were you. Uh-oh. Lainey? Uh-oh. No, don't you dare. It's all over. Lainey! Then, everything goes black. Well, yeah, okay. That was an interesting end. The end, did enjoy. The overallness of When the Night Comes, I do enjoy. That one specific fight scene has plagued me, but it will be okay. It's hard to write fight scenes. Like, I'm not trying to say that it's easy and that they could have simply made it better if they just tried harder. No, that's not at all what I'm saying. Also, this is a visual novel. You can't be expected to visually see how the fight is happening. That's not how it works. But I digress. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and playing with me. I'm sorry I ranted so much. I did have a lot of fun. And I'll see you all next time. Bye!